let's see how this goes. Hi everyone, welcome to my Flosstube channel, and welcome to my first video, which will be a WIP parade. I've been trying to start this video for near to an hour now, and when I started an hour ago, I was full of the joys and the excitement of filming a Flosstube. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great day. I was going to achieve. What you see before you now is a husk of a human being, because, yeah, it's just not gone well, if I'm honest. I got half an hour in, thought it was okay, had a quick stop, had a quick check, and the whole video was jumping like this. And yeah, that was quite depressing because I've got a fair way in. So we'll start again, see how we go. It's currently the 5th of December 2024. Who knows when it will be by the time you're actually watching this video. Who knows if this video will actually see the light of day. Judging by my previous attempts, it's 50-50 at the moment, but I'm hoping that with a bit of editing, if I can work out how to do that, I might be able to put together something that's passable for you and fit for human eyes. I have been cross stitching for, I think, 25 years I've been stitching for. I completed my first project when I was 7, and I actually found that project this morning. So here it is, my first ever FFO. I'm not sure what the light situation is like. If it's too bad when I watch this back, I will just pop a picture in. But this was a little kit, which is stitched on the 11 count Binker fabric that I think everyone starts off with, certainly if you start as a younger person. The 11 count Binker was what we were all sort of, well, it's certainly what I started with. I do still actually have this chart somewhere, and what I would like to do at some point is stitch this again on a really sort of small count fabric so that I can compare the two. I need to not touch the table because I think I'm jogging my phone. Okay. Don't touch the table. Lesson number 1. Yes, I have a variety of WIPs that I stitch on. I enjoy full coverage projects. I love modern folk embroidery. I love long dog samplers. A bit of everything, to be honest with you. And this year, me and my lovely friend Rachel, well, actually, towards the end of last year, me and Rachel thought we were really clever in coming up with the let's do 24 starts in 2024 because it's, 12 months of the year, 24, 2 a month, lovely. And then we realised that everyone else had come up with the same idea as us. So, I mean, it's still a good idea, but yeah, I definitely can't take the credit for it. So I've started 24 new projects this year. My WIP total is, I think now, 35. And I'm going to show you all of my WIPs today, bar 2. The 2 that I'm not going to show you, I'm only not showing because they are presents, or they will be presents when they're finished, I should say. I don't believe the recipients will watch this, but there's a possibility that they might. A couple of other WIPs are also presents, but the recipients of those know about them. They probably will watch this, and they will probably tell me that I've made absolutely no progress on their present, and they would be absolutely right. Sorry. So I'd love to say that these WIPs are in some semblance of an order, but that would be bullshit. They are in no order at all. I actually counted up my WIPs only a couple of weeks ago while I was away for a stitchy day. And I threw them all into various bags because I just needed to get them packed away. So we've got a mixture of everything. I think brand new projects and extra projects that are years old. I have been really bad at tracking my cross stitch progress in the past. So I can tell you which of my WIPs were started this year. I can tell you a couple were started last year. And then there's just an ether of like a black hole of WIPs where they were started at some point pre-2024. I couldn't tell you when. My oldest WIP, I don't really know. I might be able to tell you which one it is when I find it. If I find it, probably not. So yeah, the 2024 WIPs, however, I have tracked those quite well. And I have a cross stitch planner to help me through next year to keep much better track of my stitching. So if I do another one of these in 12 months time, hopefully we will start to see a bit more organisation from there on in. So yeah, this is a bit of a free-for-all, to be honest with you. So I hope you enjoy it. I don't know how long it's going to take. I have a feeling that there'll be quite a lot of editing involved in this video if I can work out how to do that. If I can't work out how to do it, I'm probably just not going to post it because, well, yeah, it's just a lot of waffle that I've done so far, isn't it, really? So let's see how we get on. Again, I will try and edit out the zipping and unzipping noises. Be a lot of taking things in, undo, I know. I'll do my best. I make no promises. So let's get started. So the first WIP that I am going to show you is the Zimmern coverlet sow from Modern Folk Embroidery. I picked it up and finally made a start on it in January of this year. I haven't got too far with it. So this is being stitched on some Coffee Craft fabric. It is a 40 count even weave, and I'm stitching it in some Silks for You. Well, I say some, a Silks for You, a hank of theirs, which I bought last year. So in terms of progress on this one, according to Pattern Keeper, so I am 7% complete on this one, but I'm 7% complete on 1/3 of the 3. I will put a picture in, if I can, of what the finish will look like. So 7%, well, 7.2% of 1/3 of the pattern. So not that far really, but it will get finished eventually. And that is 1/1. No, 1/2 on the 40 count fabric. The coverage on the Silks for You is really, really good. And I'm really, really happy with how it looks on there. So the second WIP that I'm going to show you is a pre-2024 start. I have no idea of the name of this, but I call it Acid Vader. And you will hopefully see why in a moment. So this is charted as a full coverage design, but I'm not about stitching all that black, so I'm stitching it on black fabric instead. According to Pattern Keeper, I am 51.61% through this, but that does include roughly 16,000 stitches of black. So in reality, I'm not that far. I really, really like the finished design, but the black fabric is not my fave. if I'm being honest with you. This will be a present for somebody when it is finished. I know you're going to watch this and tell me to get my arse into gear. I'm really sorry. I promise I will eventually. But this is where we are on that one. I am doing this one strand of the called for DMC on black Ada, which I believe is 16, maybe 18 count. Next, we have got Alexandrite, one of the, well, part of the Shooting Star collection from Carolyn Manning Designs. This I am stitching on a 16 count Ada. So this was a pre-2024 start again. This is 2 strands of called for DMC on 16 count Ada, which I think I've already said. I also have 2 other pieces of 16 count Ada, because when I bought this, I bought 2 others from the same collection. My grand idea at the time was that I would have 3 finished in a triptych. The other 2 have yet to be started. I would like to do them. I would like to start them all, and I'd like to finish them all, but I could say the same about a lot of things. So with Alexandrite, I am a whopping 5% completed on this one. When I work on it, it does, you make progress really, really quickly. And I think a lot of other people have said the same thing who have also stitched these designs. They do work up really, really fast. They would probably work up an awful lot faster if I actually stitched on it every now and again. The next one is another pre-2024 start, and one of the only, I think maybe the only kit that I'm currently working on. So this is Christmas Donkey from Bothy Threads. I'm sure you have all seen this and are familiar with the design, but I will show it to you anyway. It's lovely. It is a really, really gorgeous design. The struggle that I have with this one is it's a paper, it's a chart, it's on paper. I am predominantly now a Pattern Keeper digital pattern stitcher. This is on 14 count Ada that came with the kit, and as you will see there, my start is not massive. I will finish this one at some point. The next one I'm going to show you is a 2024 start, and it's the lovely Halloween Quaker from Leela's Studio. This pattern I've seen many people complete on Flosstube. I've also seen a fantastic finish from my friend Claire, who you will find on Instagram as the Opal Stitcher. Claire is a Halloween fanatic, loves anything Halloween, and I'm not a Halloween fanatic, but I do love Halloween stitching. So she very kindly gifted me this chart, and I bought the fabric for this from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics at the Stitch in London retreat this year, and I've made a banging start on that, which totals, I'm going to say 30 stitches. It's a 40 count fabric, and those of you who have been on retreats will know that you don't get a lot of stitching done. I wanted to fully concentrate on this because it is on a linen, it's a darker linen, and I don't want to miss any holes. I'm definitely going to pick this up again in 2025 and get some real progress on it. Yeah, love it. That is 1/1 in the called for flosses. Next we have a very a very tasteful WIP, if I do say so myself. This has been a 2024 start. This was a January 2024 start. I don't know if this project, I don't know the name of it. Again, it was an Etsy find. And again, the PDF doesn't tell me a great deal, but I'm sure if anybody does want this absolute filth, just pop me a message and I'll be able to find it for you. I think I did actually post this on my Instagram, and I would have put the chart details on there. So the chart, the PDF doesn't actually show the finished design. So I'll show you the mock-up from Pattern Keeper. I just call this Dill Don't. You'll see they're very, very tasteful. A far cry from stitching teddy bears, that one. Mum, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. So I am 27% complete on this one. And I'm doing it on a, God knows what my lighting is going to do to this fabric. In reality, it's like a lovely pastel-y, pinky purple. What that will look like on your screen, I don't know. It'll probably look like somebody's thrown up over it, but take my word for it, it is a nice looking bit of fabric. I don't know where I got the fabric from. I think I might have got it in a bundle that I purchased from Facebook Marketplace. But yeah, it's really lovely and a perfect size for this one. This is 1/1 in the called for DMC. Okay, next. Just a little side note for you. This is as far as I've got thus far. So anything that I'm now doing is new. So we're getting there. And I hope to God this video records properly, because otherwise I think I might just throw my phone out the window. So this next one is the Queen, is it Queen Bee? Yes, Queen Bee from Yasmin's Made with Love. I will just show you what this will look like when it is finished. It was one of my 2024 starts. Oh, 1.36% done. Well done, Becky. What a fantastic job. And I am stitching this 2/2 in the called for DMC on a 32 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics. Actually, this next one is also from Yaz. So this is the Quaker Peacock, which will look like this when it is finished. I am stitching this again in the called for, again 2/2 on a 32 count even weave. This even weave is from Silk Weaver, Wexford linen, 32 count in passion fruit. The next one is, this is a full coverage, and I can tell it's a full coverage because it's the gridded fabric, but I don't know which one it is. Yes, I do. So this one is a freebie from Artsy. Artsy? I think that's how it's pronounced. Mini colourful abstract owl that will look like so when they are completed. I'm not very far into this at all. Wow, not even 1%. 0.5%. This was a 2022 start, and this is on a 20 count Ada gridded, and I'm doing this 2/2. I find, I don't know if other stitchers find this, I love stitching on 40 count or 20 count fabric. The coverage for me is a bit of a tricky one. I find 1/1 sometimes isn't enough depending on the thread. 2/2 can be quite bulky, and it's like trying to put a needle through a blanket. The coverage, no, there isn't too much confetti in this one, she says. There's a bit, but there's not too much. So I'm hoping that with the 2/2 it won't become too cumbersome to get the needle through the back. This next one is, I believe, my watercolour Eeyore. So I absolutely love Eeyore, and all things Eeyore. And I found this design over on Etsy. So this is what Eeyore will look like when he is finished. He's not an overly large one, to be fair. 3,412 stitches. I am 3.84% finished, but that amounts to 131 stitches. So yeah, it's not great. This is on a 25 count piece of even weave. This next one is, yes. So this one is one that I plan to give a lot of love to next year. This is the Fruits of Plenty cell from Modern Folk Embroidery. That I picked up the design because I love it, as I love all of Jacob's patterns. This was a pre-2024 start, and I haven't made a massive amount of progress at all, but I really love the pattern, and I can't wait to make some more progress on that one. I am doing that in DMC 327 and DMC 34, so a pink and a purple. You may start to notice throughout this WIP parade, when I make a choice on colours that I like, I stick with them. I have got several projects which I'm doing in a combination of pink and purple. I also had a very big finish earlier on in the year on another Modern Folk Embroidery pattern, the Forget-Me-Not sampler, and that is also in a combination of pink and purple. So the next one I'm going to show you is the Silhouettes Quaker from Teresa Kogut. This again was a lovely gift from my friend Claire. I'm not doing this in the called for. I don't know if this has a called for actually. I think it does. Yes, it does. But I'm not doing that. I am doing this in a variegated floss from Sophie over at the Stitchy Ferret. And then I have colour matched the predominant greens, I should say, purple and orange, with the matching DMC. Again, it's a paper pattern, so I can't tell you how far along I am with it. Not all that far, as you have just seen. And the fabric is a 32 count, oh here it is, a 32 count opal linen, again from Coffee Craft Fabrics. I've got no idea what the colour of this fabric looks like on the phone, what it will look like on your screen, whatever you're choosing to watch this disaster of a WIP parade on. In reality, it's a lovely orangey brown. I'm not selling it to you. Take my word for it. It looks really nice in person. The next one that I have to show you is I don't know actually what the name of this one is. On my pattern keeper it just is called Big. I think the details of this one are also over on my Instagram. I'm not sure if I've mentioned, I've said before, but my Instagram handle is bxstitchy, same as this. This is where I am with big. So I am stitching this 1/1 on a 20 count Ada in DMC 321. This was a pre-2024 start. I think it was 2023. The next one I have to show you is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I've got the picture in here. Again, this is a paper chart, but I have managed to scan it into my pattern keeper so I can work on it more easily. So that is what the finished piece will look like. I am stitching it on some 16 count mocha. I think it's vintage country mocha fabric, and it's 32 count. I think I just said it was 16, but it's over 2. I am doing this in the DMC, and I started with the bottom right block, which is completely full coverage. This one I started in 2022. The next one I've got is a piece called Tiny Red Sampler from Jane Greenoff's Tiny Samplers, and this pattern was gifted to me at Stitch in London 2023 by the lovely Jenny, who is on Instagram as Celestine Stitches. I think I'm pronouncing that properly. Again, I decided to start this at the retreat, and I am using Fallow Red from Roxy Flosco on... yes, this is why this one doesn't have a lot of progress on it. This fabric is a 40 count Newcastle linen in vintage country mocha, and this was given to us at Stitch in London 2023 to do the exclusive chart. However, I decided to use it for this 1/1 on 40 count. Start is embarrassing. This is definitely the one that I've got the least progress on. I'll get there. Jenny has actually finished this and posted it on her Instagram. I think she finished hers on a 28 count fabric 1/1. I've seen it. It's beautiful, and I do want to get it finished. And one day I will. This next one I can tell is a full coverage because it's the gridded, and this is, oh yes, this is actually the full coverage that I've made the most progress on in terms of, no it's not, that's a complete lie, ignore me. So this is Quick Stitch April Fairy from Hannah Lynn, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. 4.89% of the way through this, and this is how far I have got with her. She was a 2023 start. Yeah, 2023 start, I'm sure. I haven't worked on her at all this year, but I would like to pick her up next year. The next one is Trick or Treat from the Tiny Modernist. This, as you can see, I'm working on the paper pattern on... This is a 16 count piece of even weave that was in my stash. I'm going to stitch that in the called for. I am stitching that in the called for, I should say. But on this one, I have used the CXC 310 rather than the DMC. The next one I've got is, and actually the last of the first bag of projects, is my take on etude or etude. I've decided to do mine slightly differently in that I'm not doing the called for colours. I also don't know if I'm going to do the full piece. What I am doing this in is a mixture of floss that I had a lot of. So I'm just using up those where I've got a lot of duplicates, or floss where I finished a project and I've got a little bit left over. The blocks aren't very large, so I can easily do one in just a little bit of floss. This one I started a very, very long time ago. I think towards the back end of 2019 I started that one. According to Pattern Keeper, I am 9.59% of the way through. I feel like I've got into a bit of a groove now. I feel a little bit more confident with my waffle than I did at the start of this video. Hopefully, long may it continue. So this next one that I'm going to show you is one of my more recent starts, also one of my more pitiful starts in terms of how much I've actually got done. This is Resistance is Futile from Long Dog Samplers. I am doing this on a 32 count piece of fabric, and I'm doing this in some beautiful Aurifil floss. Is colour 1100. That one. I think this is a 32. No, it's not. It's a 40 count fabric. That was one of my November starts, so very, very recent. But the other November start, which I will show you in just a moment, I got hooked on. I started them both on the same day because I was just in a bit of a funk. Sometimes I get in a bit of a funk. I don't know what I want to work on. And I just started that one, wasn't feeling it, so I started something else as well, and then I got really into that one. This next one is another full coverage, and it is Evening by Leonard Aframov, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So here is this one. This one I've got, I mean, you look at it and I've actually got, you know, a reasonable amount done. According to Pattern Keeper, I am 4.81% of the way through this. It's quite a large boy, this one, so it's a total of 237,500 stitches, and I am 4.81% of the way through it. So the next one I'm going to show you is another Halloween chart, which I purchased at the Big Stitch earlier this year. I purchased this from Rachel at the Talking Dog Stitchery, and it is the Salem Sisters Apothecary from Primrose Cottage Stitches. So I am doing this one on a 32 count blue vortex fabric from Stitch Bunny. So what I have done is I have taken this monochromatic piece and I'm doing it in black, but I am going to do certain bits in this acid green absinthe floss from Weeks Dye Works, which I also purchased at the Big Stitch. Next up, we've got, so this is Quinto Acuto, or the Pointed Fifth, from Long Dog Samplers. this is another one that I'm doing in a combination of pink and purple, but I think I am going to restart this one at some point. I am doing that, or this current version I should say, is being done in a combination of 3837 and 3607 DMC. Next, this is one of the, oh no, I think there might be two of them in here actually. These two, yes, there are two projects in here. So these ones are part of the Donor Stitch Fairy Tale series, I believe they're called. I bought all 10 of them because I have no chill. So this first one is Rapunzel. This is on 16 count Ada, 2/2. This was pre-2024, 5.14%. And the other one that I've got started is The Little Mermaid, I think, which I've got less of a start on. My goal is to do all 10. Even I start to think that might be a little bit optimistic. And I don't know if I want to carry on these on this 16 count or if I want to switch over to a 32 count fabric to do these on. I know it will be the same size. As you'll see, I've got projects on both even weave, linen and Ada. I'll stitch on anything really. The next one I will show you is my Fish and Ships from Long Dog Samplers. This is being done on a 46 count linen over 2 from Coffee Craft Fabrics again. And I am stitching this in a hank of Silks for You. I haven't made massive progress on this one. It was a 2024 start, 2.2%. So this has been one of my bigger starts this year. This is the Grand Violanden from, where's this from? Quiltify Design. I love this. I'm doing several different colours of the Aurifil floss that I fell in love with at the Big Stitch. I started bottom left corner, 1/1, 1.05%. It's better than nothing. Next up we have, yes, this was not a 2024 start, but I did start this at the same time as Rachel, who has got far more progress on it than me. This is Mandala tonal pattern from Counting the Stars over on Etsy. This is what she will look like when she's done. I am stitching this on 20 count fabric, 1/1 on, it's a 20 count Ada. 4.23% on that one. I haven't worked on it at all this year because of the start mania that I've been on. I will pick that up next year. I started this video with such high hopes for how I was going to keep organised so I wouldn't have a massive clear up at the end of it. That's just gone out the window, to be fair. Right, the next one, oh, this is a whopping start, this one. This is Saga from Long Dog Samplers. 2023 I started this one. What I decided to do with this one was do predominantly DMC 310 with accents of pink, getting progressively lighter Not a great start at all. Not very impressed with myself for that one. Again, haven't worked on it this year because of all the starts I've been doing. But next year I will get back to this one. So this next one is the Harry Potter book covers from Fox and Teacup Designs. It's a big boy, it's full coverage. I originally started this a couple of years ago, but I wasn't happy with the coverage when I looked at it. So I've restarted it on, I think this is a 28 count even wave. 1/1. How far am I? It'll be a 0.0 something, no doubt. 0.15. 185 stitches. This is quite woeful, isn't it? The more I'm going through them, the more I'm seeing that actually there's loads that I've got very little done on. The more I'm thinking, Becky, you need to sort yourself out. This one is Bonded by the Rain. Again, from Led Aframov of Heaven and Earth Designs. So this is 1/1 on 28 count fabric. Not very far on this one at all. Surprise. Okay, so we are on to the final 4. This is Legal High from Long Dog Samplers. This is also my leap year project. So I started this on the 29th of February with a view to having it finished by the next 29th of February in 4 years' time. Should be easy. So I am stitching this on a 32 count fabric in a Silks for You 2/2. I'm, I think, 7% of the way through it. Yeah, 7%. 7.02%. Next, I'm going to show you my 2 twisted band samplers that I've got. So I'm sure you're familiar with this pattern. It's the twisted band sampler from Northern Expressions Needleworks. And I found this pattern, I think it was Jan Hicks was doing it on her Flosstube years ago. And it was seeing hers that made me buy this. And I started it on a 16 count Ada. I've got the cross stitch only version of this one, not the specialty stitches. And that is where I am. And I love it. I haven't picked this one up in a while. But what I did do was I started it again. So this is still a WIP. I'm still going to work on this. I still think I will finish this. But I got to thinking that I wanted to do it slightly differently in different colours, not pink and purple for a change. So what I did when I went to this year's Stitch in London, I spoke to Letitia at Corrie's Little Shop. She's a genius when it comes to all things floss, colours. She's amazing. So I spoke to her about what I was wanting to do, and we, between the two of us, came up with a palette of the Aurifil stranded floss in varying colours, and I started this pattern again on some 32 count even weave this time in the Aurifil stranded. So what I have gone for is this will go from green to blue to purple. I will take a picture and post at some point on my Instagram of what the colours will be. But it's just lovely. And I've been working fairly religiously on that one through November. So this is the reason that my long dog start for November has got next to no love. because that one's got all the love. So on my green one, I am 4.46% of the way done. And on the called for one, I am 11.7% of the way done. My last one. So this is the project that I'm currently working on. This was my first December start. I haven't had my second one. My last start of the year I haven't had yet, but I will soon. This is the Modern Folk embroidery. Is it just called Merry Christmas? It's quite a new release, I think. Cozy Christmas Cottage from Modern Folk embroidery. This is being done on some stash 28 count fabric that I've had lying around for I don't know how long. And I'm doing this in an Aurifil. Again, love the Aurifil floss. This one I started on, I think I started this at the weekend and it's now Thursday. And I'm almost halfway. So that's it. That is all my WIPs. I don't know how long this has taken. I feel like I've been sat here talking for about 5 days, but I don't think it is quite that long. So yeah, thank you. If you are still here with me, more power to you, because I think it's been a bit painful. It feels like it's been painful,